On. Hello.
How's it? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. I know sometimes it's live as like it's easy. Cool. Anyway, man, thank you and for joining me and welcome to the show. As you can see by the lights behind me, this is called the Star Corner, where I chat to stars such as yourself. Thank you for joining me on the show.
All right. Cool, man. Cool. I don't know if I'm a star yet, man.
I think you're a star, man. Just by looking at your story, I think you're a star.
Cool.
So, I want to speak about some people might call it a disability, but I don't see it as a disability because, as I mentioned before, I have a chronic illness. I see it as people that has the disability, and I think and I actually see it as ability because as you get put through these things in life, you actually unlock something special to you. It allows you to pursue certain things, gives you a drive and that. But for those that don't know, can you just let the people know what it is that you go through and what's it called, what exactly you were diagnosed with?
So I was diagnosed with multifocal motor neuropathy. It's a rare degenerative nerve disease. It's atrophy based, so it just degenerates all the time. Some of the muscle wastage around the skeleton, especially my arms and my legs, is most affected. So it is a not to get too deep into the medical jargon, because I mean I've been in and out of hospital and listening to all sorts of different types of doctors, But it is an asymmetric disease with something called conduction blocks, and that means that the signals are lost along the way in my nervous system, especially in my motor system, right? So nothing sensory related, all motor. So I was diagnosed at 23, prime of my life. As you can imagine, you starting to build your life around where you see yourself going now. You're in your 20s, you're in your early 20s, you're working, you've been active. Prior to my diagnosis, I was involved in a car accident that left me comatose for a month, and I broke my back in two places, my ribs, cracked cranium, torn abdomen, erupted bladder, broken pelvis, broken right arm, broken left clavicle. The list goes on. And then I had like a somewhat of a recovery from that, and then boom, 23, I was diagnosed. And then I mean, like this is the type of thing that they kind of like set you back because you just come from a traumatic experience, being an active young man, doing breakdancing, graffiti, climbing mountains, running, all of these things, sports, rugby, soccer, hockey. So I was very active, and it kind of took a toll on me when I was diagnosed with something that was chronic as well. Um, but yeah, man, like you said, that's how you look at it, man, at the end of the day. So I've been dealing with this for 17 years now. Um, yeah, 17, about 17. Um, And so you look at what's happening to you, right? Because the word disability has another word in it. If you want to look at the positive in it, it has the word ability. So I might be
Mhm.
impaired, right? So this is my ethos. I'm impaired until disabled. And what I mean by that is when I can't open things, or I can't climb things, or there's no access for people with disability. There's no, then that becomes being disabled. So it's a vast pool of words that you could throw at people with disabilities. There's definitely able now. There's impaired. There's and disabled is just a broader term for something that they didn't quite understand many moons ago. But as time progresses and as technology progresses and as knowledge progresses, they come up with different words and different just ways of looking at it.
Mhm. 100%. So like I was looking through your story and in a way I relate a lot to you because I know my diagnosis was though when I was quite young. I was about 3 years old And I know that it can be, sometimes it's a challenge that you face as a person. You have to struggle with your family, something like that. So what what was how can I say what was the change in your life at this point? Was there any like besides like the not being able to climb and that was there any mental changes, maybe doubting yourself and how did your family take
Yo, bro, that's you taking me down the road. Yeah, saying yes, of course, there was mental changes. You know, anxiety took place, depression took place, lack of understanding took place. You know, drove me down a very dark path. In finding the light again. You know, but because we don't understand what we're going through at the time, it's very quick and easy for us to just disappear within ourselves. You know, and block out everyone and block out everything and no one understands and blah 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 and blah blah blah. But you kind of have to go through all of that mental, um, psycho, just psychosocial everything. You know, you go through it, man, and yet that's part of the journey in just understanding your disability. You know, you were 3 years old when you were diagnosed with this. What is it called?
cystinosis?
Say it again.
Cystinosis.
Okay, I can't hear what it's saying. But you can let me know. You can let me know
Yeah,
what
I'll let you
I
know.
can't hear you. Right.
Oh,
So I'm not trying to make um excuses or just look at the difference, but you grew up with this. You know what I mean? You were 3 years old when you had it, so you also didn't quite understand life at the time. You know, and it hits people differently in different ages, especially when you're not born with a impairment or you're not young when you get this impairment, because you learn to love yourself quicker being a kid and accepting things quicker being a kid because it grows with you, right? You obviously go through your own space, you know, because I'm not I can't speak for um being diagnosed at 3, you know. So just how I look at it, um that's my son. You know, so I went through a lot, man. I went through a lot of dark times, you know, in terms of trying to get out of what it is I was going through. So I went through counseling. I've seen a lot of different people, you know, just in terms of trying to give me the tools to navigate my life now that I have this chronic illness, you know. So yeah, it's just look, it's difficult right now. It's still difficult. It really is. But you kind of learn to live with it and you kind of learn to work with it. You know, there's frustration. Yes, I go through a lot of those things. And what's worse about what I'm going through right now is the fact that it's worsening now only, later on in my life. So it's making things that should be easier, difficult and harder. Like working out, for example, keeping fit, physiotherapy. So I'm weighing heavier. I'm losing weight, but my weight is dead. You know what I mean? So picking myself up in certain positions is difficult. Um, my hands functions, the dexterity of my hands are now losing a lot of functionality. So gripping forks, it's a thing of the past for me. You know, tying my shoelaces is a thing of the past. Buttoning up my pants is a thing of the past. Putting up my zip is a thing of the past. I can't wear anything that has buttons. I can't wear a belt.
no.
I can only wear certain types of clothing. I can only wear certain types of shoes because on both my legs I have a ankle to foot orthesis, AFOs, that gives me support when I'm walking. So it kind of gives me just a little bit of strength and durability to stand up straight. So I've got assistive devices. I wear a left wrist guard. So like these are the small things, man. This is the small things that bother me. It's small things that become extremely difficult that a lot of people take for granted. You know what I mean? So they don't
Mm.
see the blessing in them tying the shoelaces or getting up in the morning and just going to shower by yourself or opening up the toothpaste or making yourself a cup of coffee or feeding yourself breakfast. And these are the things that is now no longer something that I can do for myself. And I'm 37 years old. And I mean this is something that's quite extreme for me because I'm a very independent guy. I still am very independent. I travel, I take taxi, I take bus, my city, I Uber, I walk around in town, I do things, I buy myself food, but obviously with just easy enough for me to eat, pick up. So nothing hectic, I can't buy myself chicken chow mein in one city with chopsticks. Even though I love to sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like the small things, man. However, look, you kind of just have to like move with the time, and pray for greener pastures, man. I don't know. You know what I mean? This is just crazy shit that I'm going through right now. And the only reason
So you
why I'm
started,
speaking so freely is because it is what it is, man.
yeah, 100%. You started doing public speaking as well, just to tell a story to the people. What is it that kind of changed your mindset and made you like, oh, okay, now, I have this sort of positivity. I see it in a different light, and I want to share that with other people.
Look, the dark times really pushed me in a different direction, you know. Um, where I just hold on. Where are you going, brother? Where are you going? We're gonna bath soon. Yeah, you're gonna bath soon, so you gotta chill out, yeah. Um, so how it started was someone told me, listen here, brah, you got such a good story. And how do you feel about standing in front of an audience speaking about your trials and tribulations? And I was like, oh yeah, I can try this, I can do this. Let's create awareness. Let's let's do it. And I started doing it, and then spoke about my diagnosis because people don't know about my diagnosis. So when I say multifocal motor neuropathy, they go blank. They don't know what that is. And the closest explanation that I can give you is think of Jos van der Westhuizen, right? He had motor neuron. Now I have the sister disease to what he has. Um, and then yeah, that just started like that, and then I started advocating, and then I just made a mission, and I made a mission to make sure that the youth, just don't make erratic decisions and make sure that they think about their lives ahead. You know what I mean? And yes, the time is now, but you gotta present for the future as well. So it's all about just like focusing where you're at right now, who you want to become, how you're gonna get there, despite your challenges, despite the circumstance. It should never become you because that's only a momentary. That's just momentarily, right? It's just that moment that you there. More is nog 'n dag. Hulle sê mos more is nog 'n dag. Right? So today you're weaker, but tomorrow you should be stronger. You know what I mean? And that's how I see it, bro. Like, so it's just started like that way. I just started speaking about my diagnosis, the car accident, going from a b-boy, a breakdancer, a graffiti artist, a sketch artist, just all the things that I love is now taken away from me. It's really that I think that um, killed me more than finding out that I had broken my back in two places, that I was in a coma. But the mere fact that I couldn't hold a spray can anymore, the mere fact that I couldn't break dance anymore, the mere fact that I couldn't hold a pencil anymore, that killed me. You know what I mean? So I needed to express myself in an artistic manner And how else but speaking? You know, and this is how I could paint a picture to people. And this is how I started painting pictures to people about like just really looking at themselves and doing a lot of introspection, man, because you gotta do that for yourself, man. You know what I mean? If you don't, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose yourself in some sort of way. You don't even realize it until it's too late. You know. So in a nutshell, public speaking just it was birthed from someone else inspiring me to tell my story, and that's who we are. That's who we're supposed to be for one another, right? We really need to be there for one another because we don't know who inspires who. We don't know. You know what I mean? You always think that you're not an inspiration, but every single person on this planet is an inspiration to someone else, and I've learned that along the way. I may be an inspiration to you, you to me, you to the next person. Some of the people listening, you know, there's people in here that could inspire the next person. Your ma can you inspire your pa, your bro, your cousin, your aunt, your grandmother, the next door neighbor, an old man, someone you don't even know, just someone doing some random kind act of kindness on the street, giving the poor a type. That is all inspiration. That kind of propels you to want to do better, and it should. And if it doesn't, then you should really start thinking about what type of person you are. You know what I mean? Because we are all created by the same God, man. We're all created by the same being. I believe that. You know what I mean? You can call him Allah, God, Jah, whatever you want to call him. Daisy hoogste. You know what I mean? We all come from a source, and these are all things that I acquired in my life, and all the knowledge that I've gained over the years of sort of going to seek knowledge and studying. You know, just a lot of different things and doing a lot of different courses. But yeah, I think I just went off there on a tangent because that's just how my brain goes, man. You know what I mean? I just once I start me, bro, speaking. Yeah, you brother diarrhea come from my pick.
As a motivational speaker for coming out. I just want to read my sister's comment. She says, thank you. She says, thanks for reminding us about grace and that we will continue to keep you in play.
Cool, man.
And then,
Thank you. Thank you.
a friend of mine, Tariq Daniels, is actually on the same radio station that I'm on. Tariq Daniels is interviewed on your radio station. I want to find out how did that come from you, joining the radio station and, just give us a bit of insight because I know on your show you give a platform for those that have these, struggles in their life and you try your best to give a bit of motivation to the public out there.
Oh, do you want to know how I got into radio? How I started having my own slot? Okay, cool. So I spoke at Boys Town in Atri, and spoke to them, and I spoke to the journey and just decisions and you know. Anyways, long story short, I posted that on Facebook, and then Radio 76 contacted me, and then I had an interview with him, and the presenter asked me, "So where do you see yourself in two years?" And I said, "You know what? With all due respect, me working here." And that's all I said. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? I said, doing this, doing what you're doing.
Mm.
And what we do and what we say in life, and if it's said with conviction, it's going to happen, yo. You gotta manifest your whole future. You gotta manifest your life. That might not take immediate effect, but sabr. You know what I mean? Just
Mm.
easy. It's gonna take place. And then I got a call, bro. I got a call about like, wallahi, 2 years later. Yo, listen, do you wanna come in? We've got a proposal, blah 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 blah. And I was like, salute. And
Yo,
then I had to come up with my proposal in terms of what I'm gonna bring to the station, and what better to bring to any platform where you're advocating and speaking about and creating awareness around all the different types of disabilities. Because firstly, who knows about multifocal motor neuropathy? You know what I mean? There's so many disabilities that I still get like, whoa, like this is around. because I'm doing so much research and I'm being involved in so many different platforms with people with disabilities and organizations and forums, and I love this shit, man. It drives me.
mm,
You know what I mean? This drives me, and you know, they say you purpose in life, right? Find your purpose. We already have a purpose here. We don't need to find the purpose, man. You already know what the purpose is. The purpose is life, right? Anything else that you want to do in life is passion. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Right? So the purpose is life, to sustain life, or life. That's what purpose of what this is what purpose means to me. Purpose might mean something completely different to you. But I ask you, this is just to sustain life and love it, and love yourself, and love others. Because that is why we were created. Allah created us
mm,
out of love, out of the arsh of Allah, out of the nur, out of His love, His light, His. So why not embrace that and why not put that forward in terms of um, a different means of how would I say this? Just information or act or kindness or love, and you know what I mean? So that this is the way. So that my thing is purpose. Purpose is life, bro. You know, and how you lead it is how
yeah,
you're going to live it, how you're going to live it, and that's how you'll die. So as a negative will be,
yeah,
so as a negative do it. You know?
mm, mm, that's about it. Yeah. And then I see that you are also a comedy has been part of it a lot. That's how I still get through tough times. And what made you? Do you start to incorporate this comedy as your public speaking into your radio? And how does it help you just start to do
Comedy is a good way to also kind of bring forward the disability platform and just speaking about all the different types of disabilities and you know and just finding the humor in the seriousness of it all. Um, yeah, so my comedy journey just started out of the blue, man. Like I said, like the radio. So there was a post on Facebook. Yasin Bonds posted something, and I was like, "Oh wait, I'm done. Let me do this." I had no idea, you know what I mean? I've always loved comedy. I've loved it from a kid and all the different types of things. But um, then I kind of like just threw myself in it in terms of like just do it. You've been doing it since high school. Why not just go and do it and on stage? And then it started like that, and then boom, I did it for
Wow.
a couple of sessions, and then oh yeah, until recently I did another comedy. So, with Yasin Baker at Inside Jokes at the lounge, and that was good as well. And it kind of feeds me. It kind of also gives me a different vibe, you know, of who I am and what type of person I am, and kind of like lightens the load of dealing with the disability. You know what I mean? So comedy is a good way, and laughter is heal. Laughter is kind of like it gives you a healing aspect, man, because jy lag jou stress weg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. That's how it started in a
Okay.
nutshell, man.
And then you have this organization, and your website is amazing. I went into the website; it's completely user friendly. I love the layout. Just a bit more insight on your organization called Remote Overnight.
Yeah, so Remotivate was started, and I mean it's in the name, right? It's in the name. It's about just constantly remotivating to be better, to do more, to you know, to learn more and to be more. So when you know more, you do more. You know what I mean? So I started this with regards to just it's still under construction. I think it's just the first two pages of the website, and also I want to put up my podcast of my radio talks for those who missed it. They can hear it on the website. My online store, for my clothing is also on the website. And I want to grow that department as well because it's going to be merchandise. So the clothing is going to become merchandise from um, growing the talks, the radio, the hosting, the public speaking, and just in support of all local artists and in terms of um, creating apparel, manufacturing apparel, using local seamstresses, using local aunties that were retrenched from the big corps, and just kind of giving back to in that sphere because once upon a time our textile industry was the biggest industry in the world. Everybody made things in South Africa to be exported all over the world. So why not try and bring that? Not well. I mean, it's China's. It's another story. But why not kind of like make that strong again? You know what I mean? So that's also how I want to like motivate through just getting things. Um, uh, it's not a one-man job. It's not a one-man
Yeah.
job. It's quite a lot of work. So yeah, a lot of help and a lot of assistance would be highly grateful and highly appreciated. But yeah, so the website is there. It was started basically for that purpose, just to have people check out what I'm doing, check out how to better get involved with organizations. Well, also in support of disability awareness and rights. Um, so yeah, it's still in the baby phase. The website is in the baby phase, but thanks for checking it out, man. Thanks for looking at it, man. It's a blessing, bro. Thanks.
I saw Daniel Richards was also one of the models there.
Oh wait, so Daniel Richards, you know
Yeah,
Daniel?
yeah, I know. I met him. I was at Oxford when I was in grade 11 doing drama, and then he did his whole speech, and his speech was one of the things that started to steering me closer to wanting to pursue media and entertainment. So yeah, I'm kind of
Okay, cool. Now, so Daniel Richards is a very big influence in in the beginning of of the public speaking, right? So he's the one that pushed me into it. You know what I'm saying?
nice.
So he's a homie of mine, yeah. So he pushed me into telling my story because he believed that my story could help many different types of people. And I was faced with a lot of insecurity at that time in my life, so he kind of like boosted me into that frame of mind, and alhamdulillah, it's been consistent, you know what I mean? And I'm doing radio, weirdly enough. So this is what I want to do with my life. I
Mm,
want to write a
mm.
book, inshallah. I wanna get my book done. I wanna help as many people as I possibly can with my story. And yeah, especially, I'm not saying that I'm special. This is just another story for us to kind of grasp life, at in a better light, and just be reminded about like small things, man, that we take for granted, and what what okay, he wants me to change the channel. So yeah, so that's where I would start with Daniel Riches, man. He was a good influence, and his dad as well. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
give credit this due, man. You know what I mean? So props to those two homies for giving me the platform to speak. And my very first talk was at the Artscape.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I had a nice audience of about, I think it was like 50 individuals. It was a small group, you know, but that's groot for me, bro. You know what I mean? That's to tell my story, to tell my truth, to share me openly.
Mm.
That's a large amount of people. You know what I mean? I seldom want to share myself with one person, you know,
Yeah.
in terms of my story. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
aware. So it was like, oh, bro, this is 50 men to me, bro. 50 different energies loving here. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was good.
Before and you just nice. And then before you go, is there any words of encouragement that you want to give to people, whether going through something hard in their life, such as facing, disability or illness, just those random people that are maybe taking life for granted. Any words of encouragement to them?
Check, yeah. What I'm gonna say is, we don't be dumb. You know, and let's say you die once. That is the truth. You do die once. You live every day. So make sure that
Mm.
today and tomorrow is different from one another. Don't be doing the same bullshit the sick 2 days in a row, man. That's just then you're doing something wrong. But yeah, on a serious note, just be grateful for what you have, and then also be grateful for what you don't. You know, and just praise Almighty for another breath in your lung. You know, and just another day of sunshine. Because where there's
Yeah.
light, there's hope. You know what I'm saying? Where
Mm.
there's light, there's hope. So move towards the light, Owens.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for joining me, man. Thanks for your insight on life, for the great thing that you do. I wish you the best in the future. Wish you the best with the book. And as much as you said, may the Almighty, help that life to become a bit more positive for you. And
Cool.
despite
Maybe,
the
maybe.
positive, I just pray that it gets easier day by day.
I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll call on you to come and talk about your journey to a larger
So
scale.
it'll be great.
Yes.
Thank you. I'd appreciate
Cool, my
that.
brother. Thanks for the call, man. Peace out to all
No
your
problem, man.
homies that was on 9, yeah, that tuned in. Short guys.
So,
Peace out. I'm guys.
thanks for up until next week again. See you. So.
Cheers, bro.